What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Let me drop these links like always. We can get into this. I ain't gonna be on here no 2 hours. I love y'all, but your niggas gotta get to the gym. Let me find this and then tweet it. Let's see, where are we? Let's see. Open a new tab. I got about a million tabs open. This is like my attention span. Million tabs open at once. Where's your channel? There it is. Your channel. Let me make sure all my sounds are muted. Copy. Bang. Gotta drop some more links here, and then we'll get started. Give people time to show up. Let me drop these swoops. One more link to drop, and I will be with you shortly. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Both Brother Hodges and Khalil. What's good? Ahlan wa sahlan. Ya habibi. Let me drop a few more links here, and I'll be right with you. Okay. Okay, links are dropped. Oh, let me get the live chat open. Why is this thing not sharing? What's good, people? What's good? Look, I ain't got a bunch of time. I gotta go get my lift on. It's traps and shoulders day. Look at that. You see them traps poking out there, baby? Don't be hating on me, Hodges. I know you want my physique, baby. But I gotta hit this gym here in a minute for real, though. Even though it's like crazy humid. Man, did you see the reaction, people? MashaAllah. Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. It's like I got big quick this time. I don't know what I did different. You know what I did different, man? I switched from 4 sets of 8 to 4 sets of 10. Dude, those 2 extra like reps in each set, bro, that's like killer, man. I didn't think it was. I guess it's psychological. I don't see why those 2 extra like you know reps would make a difference, but bro, it like adds extra burn on it. I guess it makes sense. It's like, I'm basically doing like, 40 reps of whatever exercise I'm doing over 4 sets. It's just made a difference. Made a difference. Look at this, man. You see all these people going crazy in my mentions. My mentions, woe to my mentions on Twitter. Where are these cats at? They always scared to show up to the lives, man. They're terrified. Cowards, all of them. It's okay. Like I said in my tweet, I will be brave for you. So, anywho, I dropped this tweet since we're going to get into this. And I was saying, that, sisters, man, send your man, send your man some nudes. Give him that halal porn. Make him watch it. Now, obviously, it was tongue in cheek. Khalil, man, it makes a difference, bro. It really does. I didn't think it would make a difference, but it actually does. It makes a huge difference. And then what I do, I'm off topic here since you guys are here. I do like all my push muscles together. I don't know how you guys work out, but I do my push muscles together. So I'll do like chest and triceps, back and biceps. Increase my sound volume. You guys can't hear me? Is there anybody else having trouble hearing me? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu 451. Abu 451, man. I think you asked me that before, man. I think it's your sound, bro. I'm not sure. How's my sound? Okay. I do push, I do push muscles together, pull muscles together. And so, it's like you get like this sort of like increasingly, whatchamacallit. No, my sound is good over here, bro. Abu 451, man. I think it's your sound, man. I think it's your side, man. My sound is good. How just says it's low also? I don't know, guys. It's really clear on my side. Listen from another phone and everything. Anywho. It's low, but... Anyway, you get this nice burn on, after you do like your chest, and you do like, your like I do my 3 basics: flat, incline, decline. Then I'll like pick like a variation, maybe do some flies, some overhead pulls, whatever else, and then I go straight into triceps. And man, by the time you do that, because I'm lifting heavy, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing pretty heavy weights, and you get a nice burn on with them 2 extra reps through everything. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about. So I was talking about like, sister, send your man some nudes, this, that, the other. Of course, the tweet was tongue in cheek. It was based upon like some information that I got. Some very whoo, man. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Look, man, my entire shtick, my entire thing is this. I'm letting y'all sisters know the goods are out there. I don't know why women like to snitch on themselves. Y'all be snitching on each other and snitching on yourselves to a degree and a rate that's just unbelievable, man. Y'all be saying stuff and hearing stuff, and if y'all see like my inboxes and my WhatsApps and all my different ways to communicate on social media, the stuff that sisters be snitching on themselves and each other, y'all will be disappointed. This is not a small number, I've come to realize. Maybe it is. No, it's not a small number. I'm trying to think of a way to like make it seem like it's less than it is. I've seen entire groups where they're discussing stuff like screenshots and whatnot and conversations where sisters are basically discussing how they have sent nudes, how to send nudes, aka not with your face on it, and they're talking about to dudes they ain't married to. And what happens if your future husband to be finds out you sent those? So I'm just like, yo, send your husband them nudes. Why are you gonna stop the streak now? You sent them to Joe Random Ahmed. Now you get married, you gonna stop? What's the logic, man? So that's my entire point. That's the point of the tweet. Now the original tweet did lack context, absolutely. But what you gonna say in what is it, 140 characters or something like that? How much you gonna say in like that many characters? You're not gonna be able to drop all that information, But y'all gonna make me just go ahead and spit fire on y'all, because I'm thinking about like making a member section of my website, and I'm just gonna drop the goods. All these private messages, all these like audios, I'm gonna redact them and I'm gonna put them online, and then y'all gonna see that sisters a lot of them ain't up to no good. Now, this is something I've been on for quite some time. No, women are not logical. Absolutely, Khalil. They don't use logic. It's all about feels, and they actually, and if you look at my mentions right now, if you like look at like all these people talking, it's like mostly women. Like they're out there just freaking out about stuff. I think it's just because they know the cat's out the bag, and so now their feels are out the bag too. But they just be making stuff up now. Now they're saying that Abuamerican saying go on Pornhub. They just be straight lying, man. Straight liars. And so now this makes me, you're supposed to avoid suspicion in Islam, but it makes me suspicious that these sisters that protest the most are the most guilty, because now they're trying to like obfuscate and send off a message that I never said. They're like trying to cover their tracks. So all y'all sisters out there protesting the most, y'all are the most suspicious in my book right now. Because like they say, the dog that's hit yelps the loudest, right? Mm-hmm. All these hit dogs out here yelping, man. I know what's up now. All y'all got them nudes out there, and here's the thing. I got an audio. One brother has heard it, because I was actually quite shocked, and ain't nobody else heard it. He doesn't know who the person is. Alhamdulillah. I wouldn't expose anybody on this. All this stuff, if I put this online, all of these private messages from all these sisters, all these groups, I'm going to redact it greatly. You're not going to know who it is. They're not going to be photos. They're not going to be names. If I'll find a voice masking app, like how they do on the TV shows when they got the guy, and he's in the shade and his voice sounds all funny because he doesn't want to be, recognized. I'll do all that stuff. I'll cover up, sisters and sometimes brothers, who share this information that are an inspiration to my mad tweets. What would seem to be and appear to be mad tweets, but actually have a foundation in reality that comes from private messages and people snitching on each other. But if I put this stuff out there, man, y'all gonna be disappointed or surprised, or both. Or disgusted. That most of the time I'm just disgusted. I'm a guy that's very hard to shock, and sometimes I get messages and I just sit here with my mouth open, just sort of like, and I'm looking at my phone like, I just don't know what to do with it. And so I'm like, let me spread some of this shocked love. But let's get back to the initial point. Looky here. Yeah, Khalil G. This is my point. Absolutely. They're going to send nudes to random strangers. It's not even really strangers. It's just dudes they got haram relationships with. I mean, the whole thing is tongue-in-cheek, period. And the entire tweet was tongue-in-cheek anyway. I'm not trying to back off of it. I said what I said. I'm going to stay by it. In general, the Islamic ruling on photos is what? It's not permissible. So you shouldn't be taking photos anyway. So just automatically look and understand that from that perspective anyway. But it's like, yeah, how you going to be sending, nudes to your haram boyfriend, and then when you get married, you gonna stop? So now Joe Ahmed Al Chad has got your nudes and your husband doesn't? Man, it's a mad world we live in. And this is not uncommon. People want to act like it's, I don't know what utopic world people live in right now, but hey, this stuff's happening, man. Abu 451, you say you never understood the logic behind nudes anyway, man. It's the human condition, bro. I mean, Abu 451, come on, bro. I mean, there's an entire, the internet is almost made out of porn, bro. Come on, man. I mean, it's just, people love nudes, especially dudes. The human male, in general, has no defenses in terms of his biology to nudes and pornography, which makes it so dangerous. You have no defenses to it because you get that dopamine kick. The human male, his entire reproductive strategy is one of polygyny, multiple women. And this is what I was talking about in that article on my site. It's like, this is why non-Muslim guys want, and this is why the West is aiming for getting Muslim women out of the hijab. Because part of polygyny is visual access to women. It's not just physical access to women. It doesn't automatically mean that they got to get their hands on them. They want their eyes on them too. This is why non-Muslim dudes are trying to get Muslim women out of hijab. This is why they're making all these laws. You think it's women making laws about like ending hijab and niqab in the West? It's not. It's guys. Because governments are vast majority of what? Men. How many female legislators are out here trying to get women out of hijab and niqab? Women don't like competition. They're more than happy to have women walking around covered up entirely. So, I mean, Abu 451, man, it's part of the human condition, man. If it wasn't, then porn wouldn't be a thing. Um, Anonymous Assassin says the wording of the tweet, it was problematic. It's not possible for low IQ zombies to get it. Thus, they misinterpreted. Yeah, but you know what? Anonymous Assassin, I agree entirely, and I disagree. Here's the thing, man. I've tried like super curated high IQ tweets, and you know what, man? People are just gonna misinterpret you anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and trigger them. You might as well just go ahead and put it out there because they want outrage. They love outrage. Let's face the facts. Most of the Muslims on Twitter today, they're like the SJW generation. And they're the same pathetic SJW losers in Islam like the ones outside of Islam. So you can't really say anything that's risky, no matter how intelligent you word it, that's going to make them understand you better. You know? I say this all the time. If you say, yeah, that'll happen when pigs fly, they will literally start arguing with you about how pigs are not ornithological. They don't fall into the category of ornithology, and therefore they can't fly because they don't have wings because they're not birds. People will literally take the term when pigs fly and try and argue with you about pigs flying. Bro, we are in generation stuck on stupid. We are in an age of anti-intellectualism. You cannot say something, no matter how intelligent, and have people understand it properly because they don't want to understand. They just want to be outraged. And that's the generation we're dealing with, generation outrage. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to tweet what I tweet. I'm just going to tweet it, and I don't care how you take it because you're stupid anyway. And I hate to say this, let's just be honest, Trump was right. Most Muslims come from crap hole countries. Now, that's not to say that, you know, they're not better than out here because they do practice Islam out there. But the simple fact of the matter is most Muslims are stupid, and that's why the Muslim world in general is stuck on stupid and messed up, and that's why all the Muslims are trying to come to the West. Because find me a nation of Muslims outside of like the Khalij and Indonesia and a few other places that ain't just a complete rat hole. Go ahead. Find me a Muslim nation that isn't generally an open sewer. Because they're stupid. I mean, I love my people. I love the Ummah. I love the Muslims. I love the Muslim man. I love them fi sabilillah because they're people who worship Allah. But the Ummah's filled with idiots. It's kind of hard to talk to them. Malaysia, Brunei. That's why I said Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia. They're in decent condition. But even you guys got like power outages all the time, man. Who got power outages in 2019, man?
That's corruption government.
And what does this not serve my point? Stuck on stupid. How are you gonna be so corrupt that you run out of power in your own country? Can you imagine that? Imagine this. This is what I'm saying. She's my wife, Ling Ling's here, and we talking about like Muslim. I'm not trying to like go off topic, but I'm just saying how stupid people are in the Muslim world. This is the logic we're dealing with.
It's government that's stupid.
Yeah, but they're Muslims, right?
Government.
Yeah, they're government, but they're Muslims and they're stupid.
Yeah,
so I'm so corrupt. I'm so corrupt that I'm gonna go home in my nation, causing my corruption causes power outages in my own nation, the nation that I live in. Now, if it caused power outages in someone else's nation, fine, makes sense. But in my own nation,
money talking, man.
This is what we're dealing with, and we're dealing with this is not the macro level. This is the micro level of Twitter. We're dealing with the micro level of this level of stupidity. Sorry, but let's get back on topic. Let me get some of these comments here. Salam Abu, I finally made a live. Been watching your stuff for a few weeks. Good stuff. Isami037, man, drop the link, bro. Send it to me on like a tweet or something, or send it to me a private message on Twitter. I'll watch it, man. I'll come out there, I'll rep you, bro, if your stuff's good, bro. Straight up, man. Hit me up, I want to see it, for real. Abu 451, then alhamdulillah, if you Abu 451 says he wouldn't get anything off of like news reports or whatever. Hey, that's good, man. I don't get anything off of it either. I'm 46 years old. I'm not like the 16-year-old raging boner age anymore. I just I don't see the back of a girl's kneecap and like lose myself and walk around like oh my god. I'm past that age, man. I still like women. Absolutely, but I'm just not at that uncontrollable stage and age where my testosterone is so freaking out of control over the top that the sight of a woman sets me into like some spin. There's guys out there that are like that though, bro. You know, I mean, I'm a guy who's polygynous. I don't need nudes. It's nice, but I don't need it. I got multiple women. This is what I do. I have multiple wives. Why do I need nudes? I don't need them. I'm just saying, sisters, if you gonna be sending no nudes to Joe Ahmed Al Chad, before you get married, why you gonna stop now? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Or actually, it does. And that's why I was thinking about dropping the files, letting people see what's up. Because basically what we have is the alpha, C, beta need part of the game taking place within Islam. And I can literally play audios for you. Literally play audios for you. No, I'm not going to do it because I need to find a way to mask the voice because someone might recognize, the voices of the sisters. Where they're basically talking about they want to have premarital relations with guys that they wouldn't marry. They want to marry a guy that's a good provider, but they want to go out and have fun with a guy who is just, oh, my feels. Bruh, if you saw the amount of stuff I get on this very topic, if you guys saw the level of this stuff, you'd understand my tweets. And that's why I'm thinking about publishing this stuff. Because then it's just going to be a great big smack in the face of shut up. Just give everybody a shut up sandwich. Then what are the people going to say? When you got like screenshots and audios, just dropping. I can show you tweets that people think I don't see. Do you know how many people just send me tweets of stuff that it's like, how would you, as a Muslim woman, be connected to a tweet like that? Bro, I just got information today, and I went and did some research on it. Oh, God. I wish I could tell you about it, but that's gonna be another triggering tweet that I'm gonna use later on. I'm gonna use this tweet later on. It's a good one. Oh my gosh. If you think this last tweet about halal porn was bad, wait until I hit you guys with this one. And sisters are guilty as a mofo on this freaking particular tweet. It's worse than this one. It's worse than the freaking halal porn one. Guys. All I'm trying to do is get you men, you brothers, to end your apotheosis of women. Look, the reality is women aren't angels. They're not demons either. You got like parts of the manosphere that say like, that act like women are going to come out and rip your soul and your bank account and whatever else. And some can do that. Some are capable of that. But the reality is, generally, if you are that guy, your woman wants you to sexually objectify her. Now, when we talk about sexual objectification, that doesn't mean the removal of her personality or her person as she is as an individual. But if she wants you to be looking at her when she crosses the room like, she wants that. And if you don't think that's true, well, you know what? There's this bridge in San Francisco. I want to sell it to you. Okay? I take PayPal. If you don't experience a positive reaction from your woman, when you look at her and you make a comment, say, dang, baby, that dress look good on you. I got my girl a super dry dress. I'm like, mashallah. She likes that. She likes the compliments. If your wife doesn't like the compliments from you, that means she sees you as sexually objectifying her, and that means she doesn't like it from you. And I don't care what anybody says, sister or brother. If that's your situation, bro, I don't know what you're doing married to that person. I don't know what that sister's doing married to you, and I don't know what that brother's doing married to that sister. You want a woman, of course, that she is super fly for you. She's a hijabi in the streets and a freak in the sheets for you. And she wants vice versa. She wants you and your attention to be high value and high deference for her. Not just everybody else. You got that meme where it's like the guy's holding a girl's hand and he's looking back at the other woman and then his girl is looking at him, Really? Do you think your wife wants to be that lady where it's like you desire some other woman while married to her? Would you like that?
You desire other women?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
you're just here, you know, and then I'm like, ooh. I mean, I like women in general. You know, I might joke with her or whatnot. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get her on the team. But really, she knows. She knows what's up. I like my wife, man. She good stuff. So I mean, why would you think it's gonna be different in your marriage? This is a generality of women. Just like there's generalities to men, there's generalities to women. So let me get some of these comments. There's a whole bunch here. Um. Oh, geez, there's a whole bunch here. Hold on, I gotta go back up here. Good gosh. Anonymous Assassin says, yeah, that's fair. Talking about like, Muslim Twitter. They're all afflicted with the disease of addiction to drama and outrage. Absolutely. And that's one thing that Muslim Twitter loves. They love their drama. They love their outrage. Look at, I talked about this before. Look at their reaction to Hassanat when he got married to multiple women. Perfectly halal thing, and what happened? They lost their mind. You know what I mean? Look at what happened with, what was that other one that just came out recently? There was some other drama.
The Malaysian.
I can't remember what it was. There was some other recent drama. They lost their mind. They love losing their mind over goofy stuff. This is not the first time they lost their mind over me. I don't know why they're acting like surprised, like if I'm brand new to Muslim Twitter drama. That's too simple of an argument for about the Muslim world. Abu 451, it really isn't, man. I don't think it's too simplistic. I think we try and overcomplicate stuff, man. You can't overcomplicate it. It's really basic. People do dumb stuff and it has dumb results. I mean, it's really not more complicated than that. So I don't know, bro, what to tell you. I mean, that's my humble opinion. Stupid is, stupid does, stupid results. I wouldn't overcomplicate it. Because if they were smarter, if you knew better, you'd do better. Right? And if you know better but don't do better, then you're an idiot, right? It all comes back full circle. I think it's pretty simple, bro. That's my humble opinion. Egypt and Lebanon. I've been to Lebanon. I ain't been to Egypt. I ain't a fan of Lebanon, bro. When I was in Lebanon, man, there was like bomb holes and bullet holes in the sides of the buildings. Now, I don't know when the last time they had a war there. I'm quite sure it was a while ago. But that ain't normal to me. There's like soldiers and APCs, on like street corners, guys with machine guns. You don't see that out here in Germany, bro. I ain't seen no bullet holes or tank shell holes in the sides of buildings and troops and soldiers on the streets. I don't know, bro. I ain't seen that out here. Egypt, we know what's up out there. They got hit with the Arab Spring, and ain't looking good. Anonymous Assassin says, I get it now. Since people are stupid, it doesn't matter how easy you make it for people to understand. They still misunderstand it. Absolutely, Anonymous Assassin. Had I actually made a tweet series and explained step by step my entire point based off of the private information that I got, and then how I'm making it public and why I'm making it public, and quantifying my statement, people would still misconstrue it. I had to block like a sister, and I'm waiting for one sister to respond before I block her. I don't care how she responds, whether positive or negative. I'm about to block her because they just broke out and they started lying. Now, they're making it like I'm saying go surf Pornhub or whatever the going website is for porn, and they're trying to say Abuamerican's saying that go do that, and they just, who said that, Then she said, then the sister said you shouldn't be asking women for nudes. It's like, did I say ask random women or did I say ask your wife? I said ask your wife, If she doesn't want to do it, hey, you know what? I think even that's problematic. She shouldn't do it. You shouldn't really ask her. Not really. Like I said, it was tongue-in-cheek tweet. But if you do, she shouldn't really have any resistance to it. Not significant. Because if you're that guy, you know what she's going to do? She's going to do it. I mean, I know plenty of brothers who have said that, they've asked for them and they've received them from their wives. I know plenty of brothers who've done that. But, there are problems, OPSEC, whatnot, doesn't leak, whatever else. These things are valid concerns and valid worries. But the reality is, if your woman truly sees you as that guy, she's not going to have a problem with it. Now, we have a twofold situation here. You probably shouldn't be asking. and she most likely shouldn't be saying no. But because you shouldn't ask, she shouldn't have to say no, you know. But really, if you do ask, she would probably, or she should probably say yes. Now, as to whether or not you get her to do it, that's something different. But I'm just saying, if you're that guy, she gonna do it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. If she won't do it, you ain't that guy. You just financing her lifestyle. That's all. Um, Anonymous Assassin says this stupid is because of innovation, shirk, and abandoning Tawhid and Sunnah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. If people would stick to the Sunnah, to the book and the Sunnah, I wouldn't even be having this conversation, man. We wouldn't be having this conversation. I wouldn't be having to tell sisters, send your husband nudes because you already sent nudes to Joe Ahmed. I'm not married to him. We wouldn't even have this conversation. If people would stick to the Sunnah, Abuamerican wouldn't even be a name. Abuamerican would not exist. He would not need to exist if people would stick to the book and the Sunnah. Absolutely right, Anonymous Assassin. Amar Khan, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Abu 451, yes, absolutely right, man. The West does have to import immigrants to support their system. I have a video about this, actually, when I was talking about Syrian immigrants. You can look up that video. It's still online. I talk about that in detail. These are not humanitarian-like things that they're doing here in the West when they're bringing in immigrants. This is all about, like, stocking up populations that are declining in the West. It's about restocking the ranks. It's not about humanitarian help or aid. Amar Khan says, drop the files, blur the names. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about doing. Amar, you know, I'm thinking, though, like this, man, I'm thinking about putting it behind a paywall. You know, just to keep the unserious out. Because anybody can register and just come in and whatever else. And, you know, to keep the unserious out. Because, look, my entire thing is this. Anybody who's been around with Abuamerican is get married to multiple women, and stay married. You know, I recently had a brother in my inbox. It was actually yesterday. It wasn't recently. It was just yesterday. And he was asking me about taking another wife. You know, his wife's freaking out, whatever else. And I was telling him, like, look, man, you're going to end up in a divorce. And I rarely, let me say not never, but I rarely encourage anyone to get, you know, a divorce unless there's some sort of infidelity involved. It's just not like, you know, it's not the go-to pull the trigger type of thing, you know. So to keep the unserious out, I might put it behind a paywall, you know, because then you're going to have like goofy sisters in there. You're going to have like goofy white knight dudes in there. And my entire point, like I said, is for guys to understand and to drop the apotheosis of women because it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. This video series on London is about to come out, and some of the information in there, which should be known to the average Londoner, but isn't known, about the situation and why it is the situation that it is sisters are tired of thirsty dudes. They come online, they put on this act, they put on this show, and then that's not the guy they're looking for. So don't be that guy. Be righteous, be upright, be Muslim, but don't be this pandering little like spineless simp. Where is that in Islam? Islam has never known this from the men of Islam. We had dudes going out slaying cats with the sword, the most masculine thing you can do. There's nothing more masculine than like going on a battlefield, hacking a dude to pieces while he screams at you and his blood and his guts are flowing out in front of you. How many of you could actually do this? It's easy to say, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, until you're standing there with a sword, literally cutting into a person's flesh and he's screaming at you. These guys were men. They weren't like these simpering, pandering, wimp-wristed lames that we have in the Ummah today. Oh, if I make a comment, she'll love me. You really think them dudes were on that back then? They weren't. And I'm saying don't be those simpering dudes because Allah created women to like and love, to desire greatly masculine, strong men. And that's what the Ummah has always been filled with until recently. I said it. We got a bunch of wusses in the Ummah. And if you think I'm wrong, go on Jummah, take a look around, and tell me what you see. A bunch of fat shawarma rice-eating lames or beanpole little skinny punks that ain't about jack. Ain't none of them in there lifting, ain't none of them in there boxing, ain't none of them in there fighting. If they are, they're the minority, not the majority. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I said it. There's women that not. Amr Khan said there's women that complain about not getting enough attention. Absolutely, Amr Khan, and this is part of like something that this part of some of this information that I drop all the time. There has to be clear quality deference towards women, especially let's say your woman, because we're not just talking about any woman here. We're not when I say women, everybody who's a regular on Abuamerican understands I'm talking about your women, your halal women. They need quality deference. This is not negotiable. Guys, you can't get around this. They need quality deference. And this includes sexual deference. Why is everybody afraid to discuss this stuff? Like if we don't know this from the sunnah. Like when you say something, that women require quality deference, both emotionally and physically, guys lose their stuff. Like you're saying some groundbreaking stuff like we ain't seen this before. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Women need quality deference. And if they don't get it from you, what are they going to do? They're going to get it from somewhere else. And this is the point. This is why sisters are sending nudes to non-mahram men. Because how does a woman get increased and improved deference from a man? Sexual access. Now, the sexual access doesn't have to be physical. It can be visual. Because like I said earlier, visual access to women is something that also plays into the male polygynistic strategy. Men just want access to women in general, be it visual or actual physical, which is preferred. Women want quality deference. And usually, in healthy relationships, in a permissible one, the two are traded. Quality deference for physical access, sexual access. That's why you get married, right? And then it's a perfect symbiosis, I think is the word. So yeah, sisters are out here suffering. But some of this stuff is sisters' fault. I mean, look at all these sisters commenting on my thing. Look at the thirst trap photos they got up. They got these perfectly shotted makeup selfies, and then these thirsty punks are like flooding their inboxes all the time, and flooding them with comments and chasing them around Twitter and social media. And then how does she now recognize healthy attention when she's just flooded with attention? Let me ask you something. If you're a billionaire, I mean, this is kind of bit, none of us are billionaires, so I think this is kind of difficult to maybe conceptualize. But imagine you're in a situation where every time you walk past a person and they throw money at you. Boom, 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 boom. People throwing money at you just because you're you. You walk by, someone's like, yo, what's up, my man Ahmed? Here's $100. Yo, my man Ahmed, here's 50 whatever. So when someone actually comes up to you and they like you and they're like, hey, man, hey, you're my homie. Let me buy you a cup of coffee. You really think you're going to be able to appreciate that when everybody's giving you $100 bills? You going to appreciate a cup of coffee? Like, my niggas, I just walked past like 5,000 people. They just gave me $100 each. I'm going to go buy my own coffee company. Of course you're not going to be able to appreciate it. Because the standard that has been set for you is already so high. So now sisters are in that situation. They put themselves in this situation. They go online, they get all this crazy attention, and then now they have a difficult time understanding and differentiating quality deference from average deference because they're just getting so much deference. It's not the brother's fault in general. Not overall. It's their fault that they're giving these bents, they're falling for the thirst trap photos. And this comes back to my original point. You want that quality deference from your man, you got to, it's unfortunate, you got to earn it now. You go out and you created a thirst trap environment on Twitter and social media, sisters, and then you fell for your own trap. You got what you wanted. You got a ton of attention. And then you go out and get married and you don't appreciate the attention that the guy's giving you. You know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to up your game to get quality difference from that guy. It is what it is. You done jammed yourself up. This is part of what I was talking about in my last video of downregulation receptor transcription. What happens is you get addicted to the dopamine rush, and the standard dopamine rush doesn't work anymore. And women get a dopamine rush from what? Attention. If you got your pictures up, sisters, if there's any watching this or watch this, and people see it online and you catch any sort of likes, comments, whatever else on those pictures, you know what? You deserve the worst marriage that you earned for yourself through that. I said it. You deserve a bad marriage. So let's see. Amr Khan said, a friend of mine who's Muslim, his ex-wife tried to get back with him by sending nudes. I hope it worked. That girl put in work for him. Hey, you better tell him take that woman back. She put them nudes out there for him, man. He need to go. He need to take that girl back, man. He need to take that girl back. She sent him nudes. She's saying, dude, please come take these goods. I want to be allowed to you again, even though she shouldn't be sending him nudes. We know that. I'm just saying. That girl put in work for him, man. He should take her back. The Western farms of human population are dying out. Muslims are imported as fresh stock. Anonymous assassin, absolutely, and Muslims shouldn't be going for it. What we have here is happening on, this is off a different topic, but we're just talking about the stupid logic that Muslims use in general. What we have going on is a brain drain, and the Muslim world is facing a brain drain. And so when you take the most intelligent median of people out of a population, so for every 10,000 people, 100 are smart. You take out 75 of the smart people, and then you're left with a nation full of idiots. You're left with a nation full of stupid people. And it's not to say that Muslims are stupid. I'm not saying Muslims are stupid. Every population has a share of its dumb people, and the vast majority of those people are dumb. And the reality is that the intelligent run the nations of stupid people. But if your most intelligent are already stupid, you're stupid, and you're just this is like intelligent, and the ones running the nation are here, then you've got a nation full of dumb people running slightly dumber people. You know what I mean? Because all the smart people are being drained out to the West, and this is why the West is constantly and consistently increasing and improving and getting better over time, because they're taking the best of the best from all over the world and they're bringing them here. And the Muslim world, when you look at the Muslim world, look how difficult they make it for foreigners to come into the country. Look how hard they make it for Hijra. So the most intelligent can't come to the Muslim world. So now we have the opposite taking place. We got the Muslim world blocking the standard Muslims, and I'm not trying to attack the hukumas or governments or whatever else. I'm not like one of these people who attack the Muslim governments. They can do as they wish, it's their thing. But I'm just saying, from a logical standpoint, what we have happening here is we're having an absolute brain drain from the Muslim world. The most intelligent are going to the West, and then we have Muslim nations blocking the intelligent from coming in and staying. So now you have a situation where only the smart are leaving, and there's no one left but the dumb people. Imagine if the West did that. How many generations would it take for the West to fall apart? Why do you think Dubai is such a success story? Because Dubai, they take in the most intelligent. Dubai lets in the most intelligent from around the world, be they Muslim or not, and Dubai is showing from it. They're shining from it. They had their entire, financial collapse and whatnot, but they've recovered from it. But the reality is, they lean on a lot of, intelligent people, and so they are, of course, reaping the rewards and the benefits of having all those intelligent people coming in, because they have basically kind of like an open border type of situation for intelligent people. Absolutely, anonymous assassin, you're absolutely right. Anonymous TV. I got this video series. It should be coming out pretty soon, man. I got to do all this stuff by myself. I was saying this in my last video. I'm not a tech guy, man. I got to do all this stuff by myself. I got to figure out all of this stuff solo dolo, man. Because it's just like, people are unreliable, man. A lot of people say, hey, we're going to do this. I be offering cats like 40% to do like my tech stuff. Cats just disappear. I'm talking about 40%. I'm going to give you 40% of anything I earn. If I make $100, you get $40, I get $60. And cats is like, I'm gone. They won't do anything. They disappear. So I got to figure it all by myself, man. I'm not a tech guy, man. I'm an English teacher by trade. That's what I do, I'm not a tech guy. So I'm figuring out all this stuff by myself. That's why all my progress is really slow. Because I just don't have dependable and reliable people around me, man. I be trying to hire cats, whatever else. Bro, I can tell you stories, man. I can tell you stories. I paid for some software to be developed, bro. You know how long I've been waiting on that software? You can't do business with Muslims nowadays, man. You can't do business with Muslims, unfortunately. It's just, so, you just got some sabr, bro. I'll get it out to you, inshallah. I always get everything I say I'm going to get done. It just takes a lot of time. Amr Khan says, this is why women go for takfiris, because of simps. Absolutely. Amr Khan just dropped it. This is why you saw so many young sisters in their reproductive prime run off to Syria because they were looking for strong guys, strong men who had a strong sense of masculinity. Now, I'm not saying those ISIS cats were good. That's not what I'm saying. But they had with them a strange, crazy degree of bravery with them. I mean, you gotta imagine some regular old dudes from around the block just ran off and started challenging entire nations. That's a bit crazy, man. That takes a special degree of type of. It does have a degree of masculinity to it. You have to admit. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying what they were doing was okay. You don't make khuruj, you don't make takfir, and you don't go around killing people randomly and overthrowing governments. All of this stuff is impermissible. But you have to imagine that there is a considerable degree of masculinity to a bunch of guys saying, hey, man, let's just go throw over a state. And then they get to grab a bunch of guns and actually go do it. It's crazy. It's kind of like, wow. Wow. Okay. That was brave. Stupid, but brave. Haram, but there is a considerable degree of strength to it. And this is why you found, like I said, a lot of these women, the Shamima Begums and all these girls running out there just in mass and as fast as planes could take them to go try and marry these just absolute stranger guys. Because any of those guys in their mind are better than these limp-wristed keyboard warrior lames on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram in their inboxes. Oh, you're so beautiful, and putting likes on their photos. You think those dudes out there were putting likes on photos of these sisters on social media? God, it disgusts me. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Amr Khan. You're absolutely right. Anonymous Assassin says Takfirians are true simps. Yeah, in their own roundabout way, yes. They have some degree of masculinity with them, but then they've got like, it's a whole different conversation. I don't even know how to start that one, man. So I'm not gonna try. They're haramis. They ain't supposed to be doing what they're doing. Let's say that for sure. Let me see. Divorce means she has to be in a legitimate marriage with another dude before she returns to her first dude. Um, I'm not sure what you mean, Anonymous Assassin. I'm not sure what you mean. Just coming back to this topic real quick. Let me just clarify something with this whole entire Syria Takfiri guys and sisters running out there. All that stuff was wrong. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's okay. You can't marry without your wali. And these sisters ran out there without permission of their family. They got married without the permission of their wali. It's not permissible. As to whether or not, Allahu Ta'ala Alam, as to whether or not these marriages were even valid without the permission of their walis is questionable. So, you know, that's something for the ulama. Someone should take that to Ahlul Sunnah, the ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, and ask that question as to whether or not, these marriages were even permissible. Because they ran off without permission to go marry people without permission, and they had living walis, that should have been referred back to. So let me just drop that. I ain't in no way am I a fan of those guys out there. I'm just talking about realities on the ground. Anonymous Assassin, please do, man. Hit me up, man, because this stuff takes like a lot longer, and I got like a full schedule, man. I work a full-time job, you know what I mean? I got other stuff going on. I'm in the gym, 4 days a week. Like, I'm going to the gym here in a minute. It's late.
Yeah.
Darn it. I guess I'm not going to the
It's
gym
almost
today.
that.
Yeah, I can't hit the gym tonight because I need at least like an hour and a half. Shoulders and traps takes a long time.
So you make it 2 hours video now?
So I guess I'm going to stay on longer with you guys. God. I want to hit the gym because I didn't go yesterday and I wanted to go yesterday. I had like 2-day breaks between my gym now for like the past, for this week. So it's not what I usually do. I usually go every other day. Anywho, yeah, bro, hit me up, man. Talk to me. Because even if it's one step that I don't have to do, it increases or decreases the time frame that I can deliver stuff. So yeah, that'd be nice to hear from you, bro. Khalil G says they were haram, but Daesh was filled to the brim with alpha men who were good at being a man. Absolutely, Khalil, man, yeah, absolutely. Uh, they Daesh was filled with men who were good at being men, but they were not good at being good men. That's very appropriate. Shukran, barakallahu feek for that. They were guys who were good at being men, but they were not good at being good men. Now we understand, this was talked about in the last video also, quantifying what good men were, and being good at being a man. For us, in the context of Muslims and Islam, it's adherence to the Sunnah. Being a good man means adherence to the Sunnah, you know. But being good at being a man, this is just being good at being a man. You know, you got those masculine attributes and traits. We're gonna get back to this whole hijabi in the streets, freaking the streets things right now, but I just want to get to the comments real quick. And there's a lot of comments, mashallah. Okay, Anonymous Assassin, I get it now. You're talking about when the guy had like 3 divorces with a woman, and then she becomes impermissible to him until she marries again, has relations with her new husband, and then is divorced from him, and then she becomes permissible to him again. I understand. Yes, okay. It isn't allowed for her to immediately remarry without first doing it. Okay, I understand. I understand now. Okay. Well, if that's their case, then unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. That's why cats gotta be careful with this divorce stuff. That's why I always tell cats, don't just be out like pulling the trigger on these divorces, man. Because next thing you know, you got 3, and you know, it's not what anybody really wanted. It's not what she wanted. It's not what he wanted. But let's get back to this, man. Look, we live in like very corrupted times, and this is the reality of the world we're in. We live in corrupted times. Now, I'm not saying we got to take corrupted actions, in order to survive in them. But what I'm saying is, it's like we have a large sector of Muslims, both male and female, who are taking part actively in corrupt behavior. And, you know, unless you're willing to absolutely cut yourself off from it, when I say stuff like, you know, send your man nudes and you've already sent nudes to somebody else, why is this such a big deal? I guarantee you, every single sister on my in my mentions, they know some sister. They know actively some sister that's out there sending nudes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be reacting that way. You know, this is why I do this stuff. I like to check the reaction. I like to see what's going on, and the reaction tells me everything I want to know. It's sort of like that tweet I was talking about when I got the goods on them sisters being on lesbian apps in major cities. You know, there was some information and photos were dropped to me of sisters on apps that cater to lesbian women. I dropped a tweet about that. You know, the surprise or the lack of surprise and shock, you know, it said everything. And the shock to this, it's kind of mixed. I think some of it's legitimate, but the reality is I don't think much of it really is. You know, when we're looking at this generation here and who they are and what they're all about, I don't buy the outrage. I really don't. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm too cynical, you know, but dude, we're talking about entire WhatsApp groups of yeah, we're talking about entire WhatsApp groups of you know, some of our sisters that are actively discussing this stuff. And you know, do I think they should be doing it? Probably, no, absolutely not. You know, but if you're gonna do it, at least give it to your husband, man. I mean, come on, jeez, you you gonna give your nudes to Joe Ahmed? No, be halal in the streets, man, and be a freak in the streets to your husband. That's what he wants anyway. Your husband wants to objectify you sexually, and you want your husband to objectify you sexually as a woman. And like I said, going back to what I was saying, this objectification isn't to remove her personality. This isn't to like turn her into some like, you know, what are those guys talking about? Those what are they called? MGTOW guys. You know, they're talking about dolls and everything. You know, the sex dolls. That doesn't trying to make her into a sex doll. But the reality is, she's gonna want quality attention from you. And if you think that a woman, Muslim or not, isn't interested in being attractive, you're stupid. I'm gonna tell you right now. And if you're a sister and you say that, I'm gonna call you an outright liar. You are a liar. And you're the worst kind of liar. You know, women want attention. They love attention. They're addicted to it. So why not foster a situation that's going to increase and improve it? Now, again, coming back to what I was saying, don't do it in impermissible ways. But we already got like a sector of people who are out there doing that. So my tweet is aimed at them. Now, if that's not your condition and that's not your case, then of course you do it in a permissible way. You go at home, you do your stuff, you handle your business at home. You know, there's nothing wrong with sisters like, you know, wearing lingerie around the house or whatever. I've actually sat in circles. There's another brother, I don't know if he's watching today, but we were in a in a Middle Eastern state, sitting with some scholars, and people were making phone calls and asking the craziest questions, man. They were asking like, my husband wants me to walk around the house nude. Can I do it? And the scholar was like, yeah, you can do it, but have some shame in front of Allah. It's permissible. Excuse me. It's permissible for you to do that. It's permissible for him to see you, especially if nobody else can see you. The scholar was saying this, but he's like, try and have some shame in front of Allah. So these are things that are permissible. But out here in the West, man, we dealing with like a whole new generation of like just weirdos, man. We got a whole generation of weirdos, both males and females. And so I don't know where all this shock and surprise is coming from. Because like I said, if you were to see my DMs, if you were to see my inboxes, if you were to see my WhatsApp, and you were to hear the stuff that I get, and this is like unique stuff. This is just like totally unsolicited. Bro, brothers, sisters, you would be. No, I don't think many of you would be surprised, man. Y'all know what's up, man. Y'all know what's up. I absolutely, completely, and totally refuse to believe that I'm the only one who knows this information. GK, what's up, bro? How's it going, man? Wonderful title. I shared this one who fits this description perfectly, except she's not married. Either one, as a husband, gives her a healthy attention, or she goes out and gets it from Joe and Dick. Absolutely anonymous assassin. I absolutely agree entirely. Look, if you don't give your woman, Muslim or not, quality deference, she's going to get it from someone else. She's going to get it somewhere else. There's only so much she can take. You know what? Here's the thing. Guys not giving women quality deference is akin to and equal to women not giving their men sexual access. It's just a matter of time before he breaks and he starts surfing porn, or he actually goes out and does something haram. More haram. Let's put it like this. Porn isn't halal, but he's going to go out, and if he isn't out doing some porn, or in doing some porn, I don't know, wherever they do it, then he's going to go out and he's going to actually, act on something. And this is no different with women. This is with quality deference. So, do stuff with one another that removes the need for this, really. Especially getting married. And this is a big deal. And this is something that sisters need to hear. Y'all really need, look, I'm not saying marry a bum. I'm not saying marry the McDonald's fry cook. But y'all really got to lower your standards. Y'all got some crazy standards, talking about 50,000, British pound mahars and whatnot. What are you smoking? What are you bringing to a guy's life that you're worth 50,000 British pounds? I'd rather go out and buy me a used a C63 AMGS than give some sister 50,000 pounds as a mahar. I'm not doing that. You're not worth that. You're not going to bring me that type of quality to my life that I'm going to pay you 50,000 whatever. Because at the end of the day, you expect to be catered to physically, financially, emotionally. Physically, financially, emotionally. Yes. And any other way that you can think of. And then to top it off, you're going to start saying, it's the sunnah that I don't have to cook and clean in the house. But you want a 50,000 pound mahar for what? Then, when you hit your mid-30s and you ain't married, and now you start thinking about doing stupid stuff, if you haven't already done stupid stuff. Y'all really got to come back to reality, man. Y'all really got to come back to reality. Half the problems that we have nowadays as a ummah, from porn to whatever else, wouldn't exist if you would just go out and get married. But instead what happens, and I'm going to say it, man, I'm not trying to insult anyone's parents, but your parents are stupid, I love your parents for the sake of Allah, but they're dumb. Because what did they do? They sent you as a young person, 18, 19, whatever else, and they sent you in your sexual prime, 18, 19 to 24, being male and female, and they sent you into a mixed environment of the university with other people of the opposite gender in their sexual prime, and then they expected you not to do something stupid. What level of dumb is that? What level of stupid is that? Then they're saying, and then, if you're a parent, you're watching this, and you send your kids out there into the world, 18 to their mid-20s or whatever else, or until they get married. And you send your kids out there and then they say, hey, look, I want to get married. And you say, no, you need to finish your studies. While they're in university, in their sexual prime, with the opposite sex who are in their sexual prime, do you know what you are? You're a freaking idiot and you're a shaitan as a parent. That's what you are. Because you, as a parent, get to have fun with your wife or your husband at the end of the day. You, Ahmed, who's the father to Fatima or Ahmed Jr., you go into the office, mixed environment office, and you free mix or whatever else with these women or whatever else. And then you know what? If you get any sort of like feelings in your chest, you can go home to your wife or you can go home to your husband. But you sent your child in their prime into a mixed environment and told them they can't get married. While you do the exact opposite. You're trash. You're trash. Let me tell you something. You are trash. And if your parents have told you that, your parents in that regard are trash. I'm not saying your parents are bad, but in that specific regard, your parents are trash if they did that to you. That's trash. That's complete garbage. And that's why we have so many problems nowadays in the Ummah where I tweet something like this and people are actually like shocked and surprised. But we know what's going on. We know what's going on. Why are people acting surprised that this stuff is happening? But instead, we should be setting up an environment and a situation to where we support young people getting married and staying married. But instead, we're setting up situations where, oh, go get a career, go get this, go get that, go get this. And we don't teach them anything other than try to be successful in the dunya. And then when they get married, they have no tools whatsoever, no help whatsoever on maintaining a marriage. It's just goofy, man. Amacarus, what's good, bro? Amacarus, aka Night Train Trucker. It's all good, man. Just out here, just kicking it with these tweets. I figure I give people a chance to come in here and try and get some, but it's only people that love me to show up. It's never the haters. They're always scared to come out here and like have a back and forth. They're terrified, cowards, both the males and the females. So just chilling, man. Or they're just here stalking silently. Malik Jelani says, do you have any advice for brothers who are looking to get married to sisters living in the West? Advice to brothers that are going to marry sisters in the West. You really got to do your research, bro. What's your name again? Malik. Malik, you got to do your research, bro. You got to, I wouldn't say dig deep. Don't ever dig too deep. This is my advice to brothers getting married to sisters in the West. Don't dig deep. Look for basic problematic behavior that will cause divisions in your marriage. And if you find that these behaviors are at an absolute minimum, then proceed forward. But if you find that they're like, I'll give you an example. My last trip to London, I met a Jordanian sister. Everything seemed good. She was attractive, she was bubbly, whatever else, everything seemed well. I left London and I was like actually making plans to go back. We were actually like, it was like a real rapid type of like, we were talking about getting married pretty rapidly. And then she started going hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And I'm not talking like hot and cold, I'm talking like scorching, boiling hot to like just normal. Which brought me to the conclusion she's probably dealing with some sort of emotional type psychological issues. I don't know, I'm not a professional, but I'm just telling you, it was that level. Like BDP type, crazy type, just like, yo, what the hell? And I mean, she would literally like freak out and yeah, I just can't explain it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Crazy woman stuff. She'd be nice, sweet kitty cat one moment, and then the next moment she's like freaking out. You're such a raw. I mean, just literally like to the point where I was like, is she serious right now? And it turned out she was actually serious. You have to look out for stuff like that. Don't go digging too deep, Malik, because generally you're going to find something you don't want to see. And there's going to be very few sisters in the West that you're going to look to and look towards, and you're not going to find something. I'm pretty good now. I've learned a lot of tricks from sisters on finding information on people online. Sisters are very social media oriented in the West, and it doesn't take a lot of digging to find stuff that you don't want to see. You'll never get married if you dig too deep. People today don't have the luxury of being young and stupid. When I was young, when I was in your guys' age, there was no social media. There wasn't cell phone cameras everywhere and camera cell phones. This was unheard of. This technology, if you told me back when I was in my teens and back when I was in like my early 20s that this was going to be like a regular thing, I'd be like, you're a clown, you're lying, lives and whatever else, streaming people's stupid behavior. I'd be done, if this was a thing back in the past, because I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was young too. But I had that luxury. Young people today, Muslim or not, don't have the luxury of doing stupid stuff. And what you find happening is young people are doing stupid stuff, and it's coming back to haunt them. So the deeper you dig, the more garbage you're gonna find. Almost no one is spared. Almost no one is spared. Bro, I promise you, if someone actually did some like digging, they'd probably find something on you. I'm not trying to be suspicious or whatever else, but it's just the reality of the world we live in nowadays. That you can find something, you know, less than favorable on almost everybody today. So that's my advice. That's my first advice. Now, I'm not saying just accept any and everything that comes along. This is also not what I'm saying. There has to be acceptable boundaries of what you can accept and what you can't accept. And the reality is going to come out just by doing some basic homework on the individual that you're looking to marry. So do your homework, do due diligence, but don't break out a shovel. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna find something, and you're gonna wish you hadn't. And the if you're married to the person, or you're married some time to them, it's gonna hurt. You know, um, leave any deeds that don't affect their current condition with you in the past. That's between them and Allah. You meet them, who they are, how they are. Look, I wasn't always Muslim. If people were to judge me based upon what I did prior to this, you know what I'm saying? People would rightfully not deal with me. So, but Hodges, I'm gonna get to you in a second, man. I agree and disagree because you can use the hadith contextually about being good at being men and at being good men, and the two are very different. So, don't dig too deep unless that's what you want to do. If you want to dig really deep on sisters in the West, then I say don't even marry sisters from the West. Go find women who are in a place, in a rural place somewhere, and they're sheltered from the world and its sickness, and go marry there. Because sisters out here, man, bro, like I said, if you saw my inboxes, if you saw the photos and the videos, and if you saw or you heard the audio messages, man, you just, I mean, to be honest, man, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm a polygynous guy. I'm currently down to one wife because I did some slight digging on Becky, and I didn't like what I found, and I generally, my searching now is passive. I'm not really looking anymore. I'm not saying I'm gonna be monogamous, but if someone comes along and they're good, then alhamdulillah. But right now, bro, the level of just like the level of stuff that I've seen that I don't want to deal with, bro. Man, if it was an opportunity for me to like go somewhere else and marry somewhere else from like say the countryside of Turkey or whatever, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, man. I mean, because sisters in the West, man, they're a hot mess, bro, and they're all infected with feminist ideology. So I would say look out for like blatant transgressions that can't be overlooked. Attitude and personality traits which cannot be overlooked, especially feminist type of like mentalities and whatnot. You don't want a sister in the house talking about I'm not gonna cook and clean, I don't have to this, that, the other. It's not, you don't want all that stuff in your life, because you are always going to be asked and expected to take care of and cater to everything. And then what's she gonna do? You know what I mean? She's just gonna come along, just chill in the house, getting fat and happy, and so look out for feminist mentalities and attitudes, and make sure she comes from a two-parent household. This is a mistake I made. Don't marry these sisters from single-parent households. You know what I mean? And if you're from a single-parent household, then make sure you marry into a family that has dual parenting households. because you need a woman who has an example of how to live with a man. You know, she's gonna have far more of a better example of how to live with you as a man through her mother than someone who's never grown up with a father, in her house. Let's carry on. I hope that helped. If it didn't hit me up, and I'll get a little bit better on that. Where were we? Jeez, there's like all sorts of messages. Guys, slow down. A young virginal girl who is obedient, religious, good at domestic skills might be worth $1,000. Little G. Yeah, this should actually be the standard, man. That should be the norm. I don't know why this is like such an exception nowadays. It's really, that's not really a very high standard or bar to set. It really isn't. And we can't even find it nowadays. Anonymous Assassin, alhamdulillah, I didn't go to university for some other reasons, of course. I mean, man, if you got a skill or a trade or whatever else, you know what I mean, and you're making your money off of it, then you don't need it. I mean, we're already seeing the economy shift nowadays to like, basically, can you do the work or not? I'm not saying degrees aren't important, but people are now looking at whether or not you can actually just do the work. So, it's me says, as a guy in your 20s, you should look for 18 to 20-year-old girls around your age. Asami, I mean, go for younger, man. That's my humble opinion. I go for younger. I'm 46. I don't mess with women my age. I'm not trying to mess with no woman my age. Don't mess with women in your age unless you're young. If you're like 18 or whatever else, then of course, in your age range. But generally, there was like, I think it's OkCupid. They did like statistics, and they were showing like from their website. I'm not on OkCupid, but I'm just saying it's the statistics that they post that men from 18 to like, I think it was like 60 something, all go for the same age category of women, which are 18 to 25. So basically, all men are looking for younger women. It's just how we're built as creatures in general. This is how Allah's created us. So always go for younger. Don't mess with these women in your same age. They've had more time to take on emotional and damage that sometimes comes through physical damage, or just emotional damage from emotional damage. So I would say always go for younger. I mean, if you're in your 20s, then don't go marrying somebody who's 30. I mean, you could do it, but I don't think it's a good idea, man. It rarely works out. I've never seen it work out personally. I've met many brothers who've married these older women, and at some point, it always falls apart. Anonymous Assassin says, good rules to go for a girl 7 years or younger. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Brother Hodges says, I would say that the Khawarij are not men. The Prophet ﷺ described them as youth, having young teeth. And with the Arabs, a man is not considered a man until he's reached age 40. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I can accept that. But, I'm differentiating here between being good at being a man and being a good man. The two are very different, You can be good at being a man. I see young dudes that are like, they have good worldly roundabout skills, but their thinking capacity and ability is very limited because of their lack of experience in life. So, yeah. Sosa Designer, my favorite Muslim YouTuber. Well, thank you. Well, you're always welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan. We're always recruiting, man. You can always become a Muslim, man. Just let me know, man. We'll get you that shahada on. We'll get you in the masjid praying. Join the ranks. You can get some of them good samosas that you seen on my Twitter, man. Everywhere you go, Muslims are gonna take care of you. I'm just saying. That's not the reason to become Muslim. I'm just saying, it's a positive, man. It helps. Yeah, Anonymous Assassin just basically said something I said here about like younger and older women. GK says, I have recently lost my belief that there are exceptions in the West. Now I think it's safe to say that all Western women. I mean, in general, man, the West is a great big just damaging machine. It's like it's a machine, and it's a cog, and it's very efficient, and it chews up everybody that comes through it, man. One way or another, you're going to face some sort of damage. I don't think it's really possible to live in the West, to be part of the West and not have some sort of damage, be you male or female. I got my share of damage. Everybody has it, I mean, I don't think you can live in the West and not face and deal with some of its damage. It's going to harm you eventually, one way or another. Our continuing advice is marrying Western sisters. Ahmed Kareem. I mean, Ahmed Kareem, man, it's just, Ahmed Kareem, sisters out here, man, are looking for guys. They're looking for men. And a lot of guys, they, they, they've become, what's the word? They just become soft and lame, man. You can't be that guy. I mean, the just be yourself, of course, isn't going to work. I mean, if it hasn't been working for you now, it's not going to work for you later on. Don't believe that stuff either. You got to learn how women operate and act accordingly. Learn some game and use it not to play games. You know what I'm saying? You use game to get married. I'm a strong advocate of guys learning game to get married. And then staying married, of course. Also, don't just use it to like get the girl. This is the problem with the PUA mentality. They get the girl and it's like the dog that catches its tail, or the dog that catches the how dogs chase their tail, or they chase like cars and then they catch it. And they don't know what to do with it. You ever seen a dog that's caught its tail? He doesn't know what to do with it. And that's the PUAs of the West. They don't know what to do. They get their basic freak on, and then they're sort of like, what now? But we as Muslims, we have guidelines for for life, for everything. So get the girl, get married. It's unfortunate that we have to learn game, but again, this comes back to what we were just talking about, the damage of the society that we're in right now. And this comes back to why this video right here even exists. Because we got sisters out here who are damaged by social media and the society they live in. And they'll do nearly anything or close to anything to get attention. And so I'm just saying, you did this stuff, you did goofy stuff to get attention before you got married. Why are you stopping now? Why do you think we have so many divorcees in Islam? Let's look at today. Let's look at the times we're living in. Tell me that if you go out there and you want to get married, 90% of these sisters, there's no in between. Well, it's always been no in between. But it's just like a whole bunch of divorcees or a whole bunch of unmarried sisters. And it's mostly divorcee single mothers. Why? Why can't the Muslims keep marriages together nowadays? Because of the very stuff that's happening in the background that people are like acting like doesn't happen. And it's like everybody's shocked and surprised when I mention it. Hey, you know what? We know you sent nudes to Joe Ahmed. And Joe Ahmed that you sent the nudes to, he made you feel good. He made you feel good. Now, feeling good in general isn't a problem, but what the problem is Joe Ahmed wasn't your husband. Now you're married to your husband, you won't send him nudes. You know what I'm saying? And how's he gonna make you feel good? I'm not saying he needs nudes to make you feel good. Now, this is part of the problem with like Western society and the damage that social media does to sisters. Because now they get married and they feel entitled to a particular type of behavior that they've, like I said, down regulation, transcriptor, reception. They now feel entitled to a particular type of deference that's impossible for one man to achieve. And then the stuff that maybe will get you there, you're not willing to do. But you did it before. And this is the point of my tweet. I got information that shows that sisters are out here sending nudes to get deference from guys that they find highly attractive but wouldn't want to marry. How does that even work? I don't even understand that. You know what I mean? But whatever. The point is that you're online. If you're online and you got a thirst trap picture up, you've damaged your capability and your possibility to maintain a marriage. Will it possibly work? Yes. But let me ask you, how many of you guys out there know a guy who's like in a exceptionally stable marriage and hasn't been divorced at least once? It's like now it's become like an experience thing. It's part of like a Muslim resume now of experience of how to keep a marriage together, get multiple divorces. It's like practice. Stuff. And I'm just saying that's not necessary. That's what I'm saying. It's not necessary. If you're gonna do all this stuff prior to Islam in order to like get your practice on how to get deference from men, why aren't you gonna do it for your husband? I don't understand that logic. And why are men outraged? This is what I don't understand. Why are you guys outraged? I got guys who are outraged on my timeline. Explain that to me. You know what? You guys are pathetic, man. Those guys are pathetic. So I don't know, man. That a woman might be outraged, I can understand. But guys? Anonymous Assassin says greatest mark on her. Her expectations are more realistic, and she's just more than used up handbag baseball glove. Okay. Let me see. Did I miss any comments here? Anonymous Assassin says learn Tawheed, learn Sunnah, eat proper, live hard, walk a better path than the majority. Don't suck up to women. Absolutely. Book recommendations for game. I'll make a page on my what you call it. I'll try and make a page, a reading list on my website for books that can help with game. I'll just go ahead and throw that together on my website, inshallah. I'll try and have it up by next week. I might be able to start it tonight. We'll see. I should be able to get a basic list up. Now the issue is, a lot of these books are problematic. They need filtering, man. A lot of these books, because from the Islamic context, a lot of that stuff is like, it's some of it's not irrelevant, some of it's just outright we can't use. So you gotta also understand that when you read some of these books, it's not all gonna be appropriate. I mean, but I think this. This is the world we live in. We go out as Westerners into a world and into environments where not everything that we interact with are appropriate, but we interact with daily. I think you guys know that. So, but like I was saying earlier, you got to spell things out word for word to people nowadays, unfortunately. GK, the hijab in the streets woman I know got absolutely nothing from her healthy Muslim husband in the divorce. I want to high five him. GK, in Islam, there's no divorce rate, man. I don't know if you know that, but there is no great extended alimony that gets like 50% of his check for like the next 20 years. All that stuff doesn't exist in Islam. I mean, we do have like basically the man is responsible for child support in terms of taking care of his child, but even that's not as extreme as you find like they're doing, just like jailing guys and putting them in jail in the West. You don't find this stuff, not Islamically. There's not a lot of support for that. So yeah. There's no like great big payouts. There's this stuff that they do in the Khalij. I think they call it muakhir, but I'm not sure if that has any sort of foundation in Islam or in the Sunnah. If this is not just something that they do, someone has to school me on this. But look, for sisters paying attention, look. Oh wait, we got a comment here. Women don't have a say in divorce. I mean, their opinion changes like the weather, so I think that's justified. Yeah, women. Just before I get back to what I was about to say, a 89 ball makes a good point. Anything a woman tells you is how she feels at that moment. If a woman says she loves you, that means she's saying she loves you, and that's how she feels right now. And how she feels can change in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. It might not change at all. But, everything a woman says is about how she feels at that moment. And how she feels changes, like, well, I would say about the weather, but the weather's been pretty consistent lately. Whatever's inconsistent, that's how her feelings are. How she feels at that moment. So, yeah, and this is, Allahu Alam, Allah knows best. Maybe this is part of why men have been given superiority and, position over women. This is why women are not allowed to issue divorces and men are, because everybody would have 3 divorces. How many times has someone been married and their wife is like, divorce me, divorce me, divorce me, this, that, the other. It's pretty common. If you've been married, then you know it. They're goofy like that. And they never mean it. They never want it. They say it and they never mean it. Because they mean it as some sort of congruence test to you. It's just goofy. Sam says, I've been listening to Patrice O'Neal. Everything you said about him is true. Where do your views differ from him? My views with Patrice O'Neal differ definitely in his stance on partner sharing, man. That guy's an absolute deus. He's an absolute cook, man. I would be like, for all of his pretty sharp wit and understanding of women and their behaviors and everything, the dude was just an absolute deus, man. Just complete and total. I'm completely opposed to anything that sharing your woman with anybody or any way, shape, or form. I don't think you should. I don't think anybody should be partaking in that type of stuff. Patrice O'Neal was an absolute cook, man. He was a total cook, complete and total. But in general, the rest of his stuff was pretty spot on. Outside of that, the guy was pretty sharp. Um, but I disagree with him on that, man. Dude was a hot mess in that regard. He actively promoted that garbage, and yeah. But I still listen to him to this day. I got a whole bunch of stuff on the phone, and I got like this loudspeaker at work, and I just listen to his stuff while I'm at work. Because sometimes I work alone, and so when I'm alone, I play his stuff, and I just get a good kick out of it. His stuff is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, because dude is definitely admitted to cuckoldry and promoting it. Yeah, absolutely. I disagree with him on that 100%, man. He was of the opinion that it was a matter of letting go of your ego. You know, in sharing a woman. I don't know what the hell, man. It doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't compute to me. I mean, I understand his logic, but I don't understand it. Even when I like want to talk about it, it's just like, what the frick was this dude talking about? I can't even talk about it without like just like what? So I find it hard to discuss because I just find it completely illogical. But anyway, his entire perspective was like dropping ego and not believing that you own the woman, that she belongs to you. And I disagree with him entirely on that. Completely, foundationally, fundamentally. This was something I wasn't on before Islam, and now even less so as a Muslim. So yeah. A 89 ball said, "I found you when you started pissing off Muslim Twitter. I can't lie. I feel like these Muslims on Twitter want Islam to get revamped. I worry for their mentality, wallahi." Yeah, a 89 ball. You know what? I say this all the time. They want to try and make Islam into a religion of women's rights as opposed to the worship of Allah. And we see this because everything's about emotions and feelings and how the women's feel and whatever else. And they're never talking about the tawhid of Allah, the worship of Allah. They're like completely unconcerned with it. Even some of my brothers that I love the most repudiated brothers, of Ahlul Sunnah that I love for the sake of Allah, it's like 8 or 9 posts out of like 10 posts are about like women and living with women and whatever else. It's like, come on, bro. It's like, can we like really? We just gonna do this all day, man. This is all we're gonna talk about. We gonna talk about nothing else. You know what I mean? And there's greater things going on in terms of kufr and shirk. The maintenance of the salah. And this is all you got. And we've been talking about. Man, it just makes me sick, man. It just makes me sick. I don't even know what to say to it anymore, man. It's like there's nothing else we can talk about at this point. I'm not saying that we don't give this stuff its importance. Every aspect of Islam has its importance, but it's like, we got situations where people are freaking out about one thing and other stuff that they should be freaking out with. Stuff that borderline shirk and kufr. We got women out here and we got dudes out here making statements of absolute or close to kufr and shirk, like Ilhan Omar. I was talking about this in a recent video. The woman is out here like literally slandering the religion of Allah, and people just gave it an absolute pass. They don't understand the significance from an Islamic standpoint of what she's saying. And we got people out here talking about the best way to live with your husband and wife is this, that, the other. And then we at the same time, we got people out here following someone who's attacking Islam while calling themselves a Muslim. What? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So they're just trying, and if you say something about it, oh, she's a sister, you should blah, blah, blah. So now it's just only about she's a sister. Don't criticize her because she's a sister, even though she's saying statements of like near kufr. But she's a woman. And the religion is all about women and their feels. And that's what they're trying to turn Islam into. They're trying to turn Islam into a religion of women and their feels and not the realities of the Tawheed of Allah and avoiding kufr and avoiding shirk. It's just the weirdest thing, man. It's the weirdest thing. So I live in Germany, man. I'm American, but I live in Germany. Uh, a 89 ball. I'm Somali. When Ilhan ran for office, I feel like I was the only Somali to see straight through her. Absolute fraud. Yeah, she is, man. We seen her out there on that gay pride out there, man, on that LGBT gay pride stuff, dance. I mean, just dancing. What are you doing dancing out there? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. She out there dancing in the streets in some jeans and whatever else, man. You know, I'm saying, I just don't, bro. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. And she's getting less outraged than I am. What? Where? What? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not saying. Look, I understand she's in a political office and whatnot. We're way off topic here, but let's just carry this out. I understand she's in a political office and she can't say certain things as a U.S. representative, as a congresswoman of the United States of America. I understand that, but you don't have to actively partake in that stuff. She could have just like not shown up, and if the people are like, hey, you weren't out there. Where are you? Well, you know what? I don't partake in this type of stuff. I'm not doing this stuff. We're just talking about like the hijab and street, freaking the sheets thing. It's not a problem, bro. I do this all the time. When I do one-to-one, when I do lives, I just go off topic. It's no problem. But it's like she could. I mean, we got Republican congressmen who are outright opposed to this stuff, but she can't, as a Muslimah, oppose it. She can't at least like not say something and just avoid that stuff. No, she's actively a part of that stuff. Do we want this as for us as a Muslim? Do we want this woman representing us as Muslims? But I'm the outrage. I'm the outrage. Abuamerican who's saying go out, get married, stay married, do whatever you're gonna do, but do it with a halal partner. I'm the outrage. Allahu Akbar. Do you see how backwards the world is? Do I say some risky stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Do I say some edgy stuff? Absolutely. Do you see Abuamerican out with LGBT, trans people talking about, oh, we love you all. Oh, I'm going to throw the Sharia of Allah under the bus? No. But who's catching all the hate? If people haven't been duped by the shaitan, if people haven't been duped by the iblis, then this is a perfect example that they have. This is the reality. I ain't telling nobody to go out and do anything like overtly haram. Should you be making pictures in the first place? No. Should you be sending news back and forth? No. But if you're gonna do it with somebody who's permissible to you. Someone who's allowed to see you naked. I'm not telling you go out, gaily LGBT, bang your boyfriend, Ahmed and Ahmed. Astaghfirullah. But I'm the bad guy. Abuamerican's the bad guy. Holy smokes. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah. Why did you move to Germany? My ex-wife is German, Sosa, and I have kids here. So, I wanted to be close to my kids. So, 98 Ball said, I saw that tweet. Gave me a good chuckle. The topic was about what I was saying, like, send your husband some nudes, Look, don't send anybody no nudes. I mean, if you want to do it, that's your thing, you know what I'm saying? People are doing far worse nowadays. But you gonna send nudes, need to have a meetup with you and your eldest twins. Yeah, anonymous assassin, that'd be nice, but my twins, I don't know, they're like, they're both in the U.S., so I don't know when they're coming back or when they're coming back. One of them, he's special operations, and so he just disappears off the map for a while, and then he pops back up, doing his military thing. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. And my other son, he's he's in management. I don't know when I'm gonna see them again, inshallah. So we'll see. But my other son's here, man. You meet up with him. He goes to the gym with me randomly, haphazardly. I think I broke him sometimes. He's like, he falls off. I'll be going there lifting all heavy, and he's all like, eh. Then he gets all sore and doesn't come back. I mean, anonymous assassin, jazakallah khair. Look, going back to what I was saying. Look, do what you're going to do in a permissible way. Whatever it takes to build attraction and maintain your marriage in a good way, so it doesn't fall apart. Do what you got to do to keep it together, inshallah. Okay, do it in the most permissible way possible. But if you've got like some like freaky deaky stuff going on in your head because you have that Western damage, and some of us have it, then at least do it with someone who's permissible to you, please. Please, please. At least if you're gonna face Allah with something, with a sin, make sure it's not so extreme that you're facing a sin with somebody who's haram to you. Now avoid like any of the major sins. There's stuff you shouldn't just be doing, even with people who are permissible to you. Period. That it just goes beyond where it's like there's no excuse whatsoever. But if you're gonna send nudes, sisters, make sure you send it to somebody who's permissible to you. That Joe Ahmed Al Chad, he ain't permissible to you. Don't send it to that guy. If you feel that urge, if you feel like you really need to like get a oh my gosh from a guy, make sure it's the guy that you're married to. You know what I mean? Please don't, cause the secret's out, man. The secret's out. We know what's up. I'm telling y'all, the gig is up. We know what's up, okay? And so if you're gonna send them lingerie shots, whatever shots, you're gonna send them booty shots, and everybody has seen the meme. Hijab for Allah, booty for Abdullah. That's a famous meme. I mean, who is that sister? She's gonna go get married. That sister is a famous meme. So if you're gonna do stuff like that, at least do it with somebody who's permissible to you. You know what I mean? Because then you got plausible deniability. Even if something does leak out, then you can say, that was done in the context of I was married to that person, and you know, it leaked because that he's a cunt. The brother I married a cunt, and that's why we're divorced, and that's why that photo's out there. But a lot of sisters got photos out there, and there's no justification for it whatsoever. That whole hijab for Allah and booty for Abdullah meme, she ain't got no justification for it. I'm pretty sure she didn't send that to somebody she's married to. I guarantee you. But that meme is out there, and that's a famous meme. So, at least have some sort of plausible deniability. If you're at least gonna get caught out there, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff that gets leaked in the future. Allahu Ta'ala alam, and some of y'all gonna be stuck on stupid when you stand there with your mouth open, facing your husband or your kids, and that meme pops up, or you become a meme. So, because we know you're doing stupid stuff, and since a lot of you ain't gonna stop, then at least have plausible deniability. You know what I mean? And then with plausible deniability, you can show that the person who leaked your photos or whatever else is an absolute cunt, and it's justifiable to call him a cunt. Okay, maybe you don't want to make riba and a meme with somebody, but it is cunty behavior. But sisters shouldn't be marrying dudes who got that scarcity mindset anyway. Any guy, and listen, this is to the brothers. If you do have a woman who sends you nudes, or you ask her to and she does, your wife, not just any woman, but when I say a woman, I'm talking about your woman, and she sends it unsolicited or solicited. Look, you're an absolute piece of dookie if you put that out there later on because you got a divorce. That comes from, now this is like that whole ego thing Patrice O'Neal was talking about. She, at the end of the day, she is an autonomous being, and if things don't work out, why do you have a scarcity mindset where you feel so hurt and so injured that oh, I'm so angry that you got to put her whatever she sent you or whatever she said out there in the public? Why would you do that? Even if it's not nudes, even if it's just private conversations y'all two had, and it's something that maybe should stay between two people. Why would you don't publicize that stuff, man? Don't publicize that stuff from your ex-partner, man. Don't do that. How hurt or angry are you? Now, let me add a condition here. Women can be quite vicious. I'd say, in terms of comments, not photos, but in terms of comments or whatever else, statements that, save that stuff, man, because they like to pull stuff out, these fake hashtag Me Too's and whatever else, and these lawsuits saying he raped me, whatever else, and then we find out later on, from all these texts and conversations that these sisters were hot for these dudes. You should have information that would protect yourself if you think things are going to go south. But anything in terms of revenge porn or whatever else, that comes from a scarcity mindset. That comes from a psycho-simp mentality to where it's you have a fear that you will not get better or anything after her, and therefore you have to damage her and damage her reputation upon exiting the relationship. And if that's your condition, man, you're in a bad condition. You know what I mean? Because I can promise you this, man, you could throw a rock. As bad as people say my reputation is Abuamerican, you know what I have? I've got plenty of marriage proposals from women who know exactly who I am and what I do and the statements that I make. Women who watch my Twitter and will marry me. And if they don't want to, you know what? There's 5 other women lined up, and I can only marry 4 in total. But there'll be 5 or 6 other women lined up ready to marry me if that sister won't. So don't have a scarcity mindset, because if you do, you're gonna do stupid stuff like revenge porn or whatever else. There's no need to be angry. Leave that anger and that emotional I'm gonna get you to the women. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. If she does something nice for you, and it is, okay, should she be doing it? Probably not. But if she does, it's a nice gesture. If she sends you something like that, that's a nice gesture. Okay, you can say, hey, baby, you know what? I don't really need this. Just have something nice on when I get home. You know, just say, hey, you don't have to send me this stuff. But if she does send it to you and it's unsolicited, and she wants a reaction from you, at least praise her for it and then say, hey, you know what, please, you don't have to do this. I'm worried about it leaking out or whatever else, if you don't want her to do it, say, baby, I like it, but you don't have to do it. Please don't, actually, because it might leak out, whatever else. Someone might be looking over my shoulder, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. And you can tell her to stop the behavior. But don't, don't throw her under the bus for it. She's doing something that she thinks you'll like. And so teach her what you like. And the more permissible, the better. Yeah, Son of Jeans. Yeah, it is sucker stuff. It absolutely is, man. And there's brothers out there that would actually do that, and I don't know why they would do that, man. You know what I mean? I don't even know why you do that. If somebody does something nice for you, and then later on you get mad at them, why would you forget that they did that nice thing for you? You know what I mean? I just don't even understand that mentality. Because this is a big argument that a lot of guys are putting on there, revenge porn. I'm like, yo, if my girl's here, she does something nice for me, sends me something, and I'm like, oh, it's nice, and then things go south like 10 years down the road. Why would I remove the context of her doing something nice for me just because my current situation is bad? I'd be like, oh, she sent this to me, and I was happy and pleased with her at the time. You know, why am I now gonna uh, mix up the emotions, conflate everything of being angry at her now for what she did for me to try and make me happy in the past? What kind of man thinks like this? This is not masculine thought. This is not. Yes, exactly. That's stuff women do. Thank you, Khalil Jilly. This is stuff that women do. I don't understand what kind of guy would do this stuff, man. Just delete the stuff, and you know what, and keep it pushing. Get you another woman. Go ahead and get you another woman. Because she's gonna go find herself another man. She gonna snap her fingers, be like eeny meeny miny mo in her inbox, catch Tiger by his toe. My mother said that you are not it, and she gonna go through her inbox like that, finding the next thirsty dude to marry, because she got an inbox full of like 800 thirsty dudes in there, dropping her all sorts of BS. She gonna get married. You think she gonna be thinking about you in a year? Do the same. Do the same. Keep it pushing. Look, look. And here's another thing. If this is something that you've done, or this is something that you do in terms of nudes or whatever else with your wife, look. If things go south, delete it immediately. Just get rid of it. Just delete it. First off, she's no longer permissible to you. Secondly, you don't want to be going back through your phone or whatever else, and then you see this stuff, and then you start, having all sorts of feels and whatever else, and start hitting her up, oh baby, I miss you, whatever else, because that's what it's gonna lead to. It's gonna lead you to going back, because we're men, and you get thirsty, and what is easy and regular, you're gonna want to go back to it. So just delete that stuff, man, so you don't even build that thirst inside of you. You know what I mean? Just get rid of it, man, and start off from fresh. You know. Why would you be that guy? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Anywho, scarcity mindset is dangerous. It's exceptionally dangerous in everything and anything, from money to jobs to women. Anything. Scarcity mindset is very dangerous. 89 Ball says, can I switch gears for a second? Yeah, sure, of course, bro. How do you get multiple wives when you live in the West and the mentality is corrupted? Bro, it's easier than you think. And that's what my London guide is going to be all about. My London guide is actually going to be more like a big city guide. It's more like a big city guide. I actually even said that in the video. The videos are actually largely produced. I want to re-record some of the videos, but basically the basics are done. And it is what works in London should work anywhere. And you'd be surprised at how open women are to polygyny, man. Women are very, very open to polygyny. I think it's in their nature. Just like polygyny is the nature of men, it's the nature of women to, of course, allow for it. But how many guys are actually like that high-quality guy that women would actually think, you know what, I'd rather share him than lose him? How many of you guys, any of us, are actually that guy? It's a very few, and that's the issue. You got to be that guy to where she's like, you know what? I would rather be a co-wife to someone than let this guy escape. So that's how you do it, man. You got to build yourself. You got to be that guy. You got to be the guy that she wants to send nudes to. I'm not saying get nudes, but you got to be the guy she wants to send them to because she wants to put you on the hook, like fishing. Women use their beauty as fishing for men, and guys use their status as fishing for women. Be symbiosis. Remember what I said about symbiosis? Um, Son of Jeans says facts at Khalil. Exactly. Learn game and generate prospects that solves problems. Yes, absolutely. What's the difference between gaming Muslim and non-Muslim women? Is there one? No, not for you. The difference between gaming Muslim women and non-Muslim women, there's no difference for you as a Muslim man because the rules of Islam always apply to you. You can't selectively, like, apply the rules of Islam in one moment and then unapply them in the next moment. And there's a lot of problems that brothers fall into. And I mentioned this actually in my London guide that there's like some things that are problematic. And I admit it, there are some problematic approaches in the systems, and it's part of being in the West, and this is part of the damage I was talking about. So you're gonna have to decide at what point, it's like, these are limitations, and I can't go past them. You know, um, so yeah, there is no difference. The rules of Islam apply to us universally at all times, and you can't it ain't like the fruit section in Asda. You can't pick and choose and like, oh, hey, look at this. Oh, I don't want that. No. There's one big package deal, so you got to stick to it, and you just got to make it work. And this is why I was saying about these game guide books, these books on game and whatnot. Um, they're problematic because none of it is written with Islam in mind, and so you really have to go through this with a fine tooth comb. And the issue is this: what you find is a lot. The brothers that learn game and they start getting results, um, it's dangerous because now you're like, oh snap, I'm getting results. And so now you have to have like a very high level of self control in order to use this stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna fall into something, man. And it's dangerous. You gotta have a degree of self mastery. But that self mastery makes you more attractive. If you're just uncontrolled and running around, cutting and running in the streets, you're gonna look like, you look like the clown that you are, even if you're getting results. No one's gonna take you seriously, and rightfully so. But if you're a guy who learns mastery of self, you can't control your environment if you can't control yourself. That's the start. So I'll build a page. I'll put together a page for like reading material in terms of game, and then yeah, you're gonna have to look at that stuff through the lens of Islam and not any other way. When a guy says go and do this or do that, you're gonna have to look and say, can I Islamically do that? And you're gonna have to act accordingly, inshallah. Um, my guy, how did you find Andrew Tate? I think I saw a picture of both of you together. I'm not sure. Andrew, man, he just sort of popped up on the Manosphere. I don't think he was ever an active part of the Manosphere. I think the Manosphere kind of found him because of his lifestyle. And then it's just, I hate to say it because he's not Muslim, but to a degree, birds of a feather flock together. There's nobody else in the Manosphere that's really living a polygynous lifestyle outside of Tate and I. There's nobody else. And I was just talking to him recently, and he was like, he said, he was saying, he's like, there's not too many guys out there like me and you who are actually like, actively, openly talking about living with multiple women. There's nobody else in the Manosphere doing it. Who? Dan Blitzerian. Dan Blitzerian isn't part of the Manosphere. So there's nobody else out there talking about this. Nobody else is talking about living with multiple women. So basically, he and I are unified upon the idea that men should not be monogamous, and that men should learn basically game, how to make money. I'm learning how to make money from him. This is something I never really focused on because I always managed to get a half decent paying job as a minimum, and to be able to take care of myself. So, this idea of learning, how to make money online and whatnot is something new to me. This is something I'm learning from him. But generally in dealing with women, this is something I always had on lock. So, I guess we kind of came together based off of that. Just like, we're guys that like believe that, hey, men should have multiple women. Yeah, that's how and so it's like, I still talk to him to this day, man. I still, I holler at him on WhatsApp and whatnot. But he's a busy guy. He's a millionaire now. We got completely different lives, so he doesn't have time to respond. I guess we were both millionaires and we had like similar lives, then we talk more often. But it's funny. It's nice talking to him. He's not a bad guy like they make him out to be. He's sort of like me and my tweets. Uh, I do stuff to trigger people, but really, it's like I think most people who really deal with me know I'm not like I'm not some psychopath, or some weirdo. I don't think my wife would be sitting here smiling if I was like a complete weirdo, like everybody on Twitter seems to think I am. I think Andrew is the same way. I see him as the same way. He's a pretty decent dude, man. He's a nice guy. He's not like he's not. He's a pretty good dude. I mean, but he's not Muslim. I mean, so there's gonna be only so close we can be to one another. You know, because Islam is the barrier. Islam is the boundary on how close we can actually get. But I'm not talking like we're homies either. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we're like tight homies. I think he's like the type of guy that if he's down for you, he's down for you. Period. Whether you're Muslim or not. But I don't. Yeah, he and I met in Luxembourg. Me, him, and his brother. Yeah, we met in Luxembourg. Really, really, really affable, nice, polite, well mannered, exceptionally intelligent guys. I speak very highly of them. It'd be awesome if they accepted Islam. Man, that would be awesome. Anywho, uh, Ozzy Oz says, Abuamerican, what are some filtering questions you can ask for a potential Muslim woman in the West? I tend to like ask questions related to like feminism and whatnot. These are like one of the number one things that I like do. And I don't ask direct. If you ask direct questions, women are gonna obfuscate. Generally, they're not gonna answer directly. So you make jokes and imply stuff, and then see what their responses are. Like about cooking and cleaning. Is this something she's gonna do? Make jokes about it, whatever else. Make jokes about like guy friends or whatever else. See how she reacts to it. Make everything fun. You start getting too serious with a woman, and she's just gonna get bored. They're like teens. They always got to be entertained. You know, you smiles because I got jokes. She know I got jokes. I keep her entertained. So keep everything fun and light. I use cocky funny, but that just fits my personality because I tend to be exceptionally cocky, and I think I'm funny. But I don't care if anybody else laughs. If I laugh, that's enough for me. So I get my information like that. Get the guard down through cocky funny, get them relaxed, get them laughing, and the truth comes pouring out. And you'll find one thing that's very true: women love to snitch on themselves. And then once they feel relaxed around you, they're gonna start snitching on themselves. Don't get relaxed to the point where they're like, he's my brother. You end up in the ox zone. But at the same time, get them to a point where they feel that they're not gonna be judged. And really, you're not going to judge them, but you're just judging as to whether or not you're going to have compatible lifestyles. I mean, there are so many sisters I've like nexted and ghosted, and it's like they're completely inappropriate. But I'm just, even though I could throw them under a bus, I'm just like, for what? For what? They're just not my type. We're just not going to meld together. We're not going to work together. It's not going to work out. So there's no need for me to throw them under a bus, because that's the end of our interaction. And so there's no need to judge them. They're going to try and do that to you, so don't even bother with it. GK says, being with one woman is a great way to lower testosterone levels and become a beta. For me, it's either 0 women or 2 plus. Yeah, absolutely. And betatization is something I talk about in my London guide. The betatization process that women try and put you through. In London, this is a big deal. Women will try and put you through a betatization process. But all this is in my London guide, and inshallah, that's going to be out soon. One thing I'm having trouble with working on is the price for it. I don't know what to charge for it. But yeah, women will try the betatization process on you. They will try and get you to take a beta frame, which works for them, and it works completely against you. This is something that brothers in London fall for and they fail at. They take that bait, and then they end up miserable. They end up divorced. They end up trying to find out how they can get married again, and they're in a miserable marriage as it is right now. And it just is, you set yourself up from the start for an entire situation that's going to make you unhappy. Sammy says, I'm on my personal journey. I got a respectful job, but I need some serious work in the gym and learn some game confidence. I should search for a girl now or develop myself to a higher level, then start. just do both, man. There's no reason why you can't. Do both, man. There's no exclusive mutuality here. Be the best that you can and constantly improve. Look, if you get a girl now who accepts you now and she's the girl you want and you're not at the level you want to be, imagine how she's going to consistently see you improving, and she's going to consistently look at you improving and looking like, oh wow, my man is just always getting better. It's going to be more difficult to impress her later on if you come out and you're like the top dog guy in your environment that you're in right now. It's going to be very difficult to impress her because you can be like, oh, well, that's how he's supposed to be. That's how he's always been. So when you get better, there's only going to be so much further you can go. You know. But if you're at this particular level and you just keep rising, 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 she'll be like, man, this guy's like a superstar. He don't stop. You know. So if you can find a woman who is satisfied with you as you are right now, get married, but don't stop the improvement process. Never stop. Don't stop. Always try and do better. Always try and improve. Always try and increase. I'm always trying. Does it work all the time? No, but that's part of the process. Learning what works and what doesn't work, and then just improving. Don't let it slow you down. Don't let it stop you. Have a backup plan to keep it pushing. So I'd say it's not a necessity to be the absolute best that you can be right now. Go out, start looking, find what you can find, and then if you find her, then keep building. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop that process. If you don't find her, you're still on the path. No matter what, the time is going to pass. This is the point. So if it passes with her in it, or passes and then you eventually find her, what's the difference other than the time has passed? I think it's better to start early. We were talking about this earlier with kids in university and whatnot. You're in that situation. If you're single, and you're a normal testosterone functioning level man, then this is a priority for you, man. Like Taus Rahimullah said, two things stop a man or a woman from getting married: sinfulness or inability. So, if you're not sinful, don't remove your inability. You say you got a respectful job, man. Make it happen, bro. Make it happen, man. You don't want to fall into something. You don't want to be in a situation where you fall into something. Whatever else. Protect yourself. Like in fighting, protect yourself at all times, gentlemen.
Apologies. Nah, that's no problem, Isami. Sosa says, I'm not Muslim. Can I ask you why you don't eat pig?
Sosa, as far as I know, there's no specific reason. This is like way off topic, but Sosa, I don't think there's any specific reason why we're told not to eat pig. That they're dirty, they got parasites. And you find Muslims giving all sorts of excuses, whatever else. We don't eat pigs because we're commanded not to, and that's it. Allah and His Messenger said, "Don't eat pork." We don't eat pork. If there's some other reasoning to it, because pigs do this or pigs don't do that, pigs are dirty, whatever else, then that's all sideshow stuff that people have added onto it. But the foundation is that the foundation of the Islamic behavior is hear and obey. And who do we hear and we obey? We hear and obey Allah and His Messenger. So if they make a command, it's to be followed. It doesn't always have to just make absolute sense, So we've been commanded not to eat pork, and that's just it, man. If there's another reason to it, I don't know it. It's enough for me that Allah and His Messenger have commanded it. And this isn't like rationalization or whatever else, but I mean, it's just a simple fact. I can eat anything else except pork, and a few other like wolves and lions and tigers and bears, fanged animals. But generally, all I eat is steak and chicken anyway. I don't need any pork. Pork is a poor protein source anyway. So, I stopped eating pork before I was Muslim. So, it's just one meat. I don't miss it. So, beyond Allah and His Messenger forbidding it, I don't know that there's any other reason that Muslims have been told not to eat pork. If somebody knows something, please drop it in the comment section.
GK Spring, laughing often leads to the bedroom. Western woman or any other woman?
Yeah, women like a guy that can make them laugh. They do, Yeah. They do.
Azia says, also, how do you know if a chick has been around? Because a lot of brothers don't know they're dealing with this recycled thoughts.
This is more for Muslim brothers. That's a good question, man. This is where experience comes in. They're just telltale signs. You can just see stuff, man. You can smell it when a woman's been around the block, bro. Yeah, if you don't know, then you don't know. That is a good point, man. I don't know actually. I gotta think about that one, man. I gotta refer back to some brothers on like the telltale signs. But then if you don't have experience with it, do you see what I mean? And you see it, you're gonna question as to whether or not you're seeing it because you don't have experience with it. So even if I told you, that's a good question, man. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I mean, I can give you signs, but then again, if you spot them, you're going to question whether or not you're actually seeing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you don't have experience with it. Let me think about that one, man. That might be a video, dude. I got to think about that one. That's a good one. The signs are there. It's just, you just know it. Do you know what I mean? Nah, I mean, I know I'm going to need time to actually think about it, bro, because one thing that I do is, sorry, guys. I've been talking for almost, 2 hours straight. A lot of stuff that I know is actually passive. I don't actively notice or realize I'm doing it. And so this is also a problem of like systemizing stuff to where it's like you're like, okay, how do I actually systemize behaviors that I'm doing passively? So this is the same thing. When you spot these behaviors, a lot of times it's just passively like, oh, you know what I mean? Let me make a video on that on its own, but I gotta actually think about that. I gotta take notes on that one, okay? I ain't gonna forget you on this one because that's actually a good one, man. I never thought about it like that. But this actually, you know what I did? And I was talking about making this vetting series, but the vetting, man, is I don't know if that's actually something that it can actually be done because vetting never stops and it changes with age and time. And so it would be like an impossibly long video series. Actually, it'd probably be like a video series that never ends or never stops. You'd have to constantly update. Ozzy, that's a good one, man. I'll make a video on that, but I'm not sure when it'll get done. As you guys see, I don't really drop like pre-made videos anymore. I almost only go live now, so I don't know when I'll actually do it. And I actually go live because of my time and my schedule. I just stay busy and doing this and going here and doing that, so I don't even have time to sit down and actually make videos anymore. I have a slot in my time in my day, and then I make a live. Like today, like I said, I was going to go to the gym, and I missed that. So technically, I should have been gone already to the gym lifting. I wouldn't have had time to actually make a video about this. So this is yeah. Just hit my whatchamacallit, get on my website and subscribe. And I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to figure it out. Like I said, I'm not a tech guy. That when I put up a new article and the article is connected to a video or anything, on my site, that you'll get an email saying that there's a new article up. And when I make this, it'll be on the site and you'll get an email. Hopefully, if I figure out how to do it. So do that. But guys, it is 11 o'clock. I gotta go, man. I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So, what is that? That's like 5-6 hours worth of sleep. What is that? It's not long. So I gotta get some sleep. Because I gotta go work like 7 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna be working longer than I actually sleep. So I gotta get off this thing. But we were all over the place. But it's always good to just talk with you guys, man. Look, sisters, if you made it this far, look, don't send nudes to anybody you're not married to. And if you're married to somebody, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. No problem, Isam. That's why I'm here, man. I'm here for you guys, man. Look, if you sisters, please don't send nudes. Don't do that. Don't send nudes to anybody. Don't even put your picture on social media. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but look, take your pictures off social media. Because you're setting up a paradigm to where like things are only going to get progressively worse. You already set up the paradigm for nudes by putting your picture online. And if you actually stop and let go of the emotion and think about what I'm saying, you'll find that I'm right. That by putting your face, by putting your photos on social media, you've opened the doorway for nudes already, because you already opened up the thirst trap door right there. And then that's going to open up the door to getting attention from, progressively more masculine men who are going to find you attractive, or multiple men. And in order to increase your deference and more attention that you're going to get, that you're not impervious to, you're going to continue to do more and more and more and more. And one thing that I do, the worst comments, I'm just closing this off, guys, but this is a message to the sisters. One thing that I do sisters, you should understand this. That if you come at me on Twitter, the first thing I do is like, okay, this sister's coming pretty hard. I go on your Twitter and I look at your media. I go Twitter, you, then I go to media. And 80% of you are trash. You go on there, y'all got your tits out, you're doing ass shots, you're doing all sorts of stuff you know you shouldn't be doing. You've got on there the most risky, most dangerous pictures that that you sh- that stuff you should be sending to your husband, and it's on your Twitter. And you're coming at me on Twitter. And if y'all know anything, that when I finally lose my cool and I go battle mode, I'm gonna pull all that stuff up and I'm gonna start dropping it on my timeline. So already that your Twitter is putting that type of stuff out there and you've got those type of photos out there, it's already proof that you are on the pathway to nudes already, because you're already posting stuff on Twitter that only your husband should be seeing. So don't act surprised and don't act shocked when I make like risk statements, because your Twitter is risk. 90% of your Twitters are risque. So you're already on that pathway. So don't even put your picture online. I mean, I do it too. I'm not gonna lie, and it's inappropriate. It's a type of hypocritical behavior. I admit to that. That we understand that the ruling on photos in Islam is that it's not permissible. But we all got photos up. I do it, and I hold the opinion it's not permissible. I hold the opinion I am sinful, and it's a bad thing. It's very difficult to let go of, because we're people of our time, and this is the damage I'm talking about. But sisters, there's got to be limits. Sisters, you are more vulnerable to this stuff than we are as men, because men don't want and we don't need attention. We don't strive for that. We strive for and we want visual access. So you have to cut that off. This is where we can't help you. We can't have honor and dignity for you in this matter. We can't protect you from yourself. This is why they say don't save her, she don't want to be saved. You don't want to be saved from yourself. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta take the first step. Now, if you take the first step, and you protect yourself, then we can protect you. We can protect the honor of someone who shows and displays honors. But if you don't display honor and dignity, then we can't protect something that's not there. Okay? So just do yourself a favor. Trust me on this one. If you want to have a happy life and a happy marriage, you got to take that stuff offline, man. You got to take your photos off there, man. Even the face shots, even the curated makeup. It's absolutely haram. So yeah, it's haram. Yes. So you're not in Islam. You're not allowed to like see the private parts of people. It's called in Islam. It's called the aura. The aura is what would be defined as the private parts or the private areas of a person. From a man, the aura, the private parts, are from the navel to the kneecap. For women, that's like, depending on the opinion, her face might be aura, and that's why you see someone when, like my wife, wears niqab. Depending on the opinion you follow, but the rest is definitely not, allowed to be seen. So you're not supposed to be looking at the private parts of anybody other than the person that's permissible to you, which is your husband or your wife. So, sisters, don't make me drop this stuff on here, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's known that a lot of you are sending nudes. Don't do that, please. Don't. Just don't. Just don't. Especially to somebody that's not permissible to you. Just don't send that stuff, you know what I mean? And brothers, don't ask for that stuff. You just go out and get you multiple wives and then check them out naked. You know what I mean? You don't got to do that. Just go get you multiple wives, man. It's easy stuff, bro. It's not as difficult as you might think it is. Go get multiple wives, and you can look at them naked all day at home, not together at the same time. If you can pull that off, let me know how you do it. But I don't think that's permissible. I'm just playing. But but if you can pull that off, though, I still want to know. You want some next level stuff. Yeah, and that's it. So this is your man, Abuamerican. You can catch me on Abuamerican.com. You can you can catch all my social media there, from Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You can find all my links there, and you can join my email list there. I'm not gonna flood you with emails. I might send out an email once every blue moon, but yeah, you can catch me over there on the live chat sometimes. But guys, if you do use the live chat and you just disappear after 5 minutes, then you at least leave behind your email, fill out the forms and whatnot, and when I respond, you'll get an email saying I responded to you. All right, I'm out.